Hello and welcome to another episode of 20,000 Leagues Under the Internet. I am your host. Join with me, as always. And for the last time, John Carr and Kyle Luck.
All good things must
Welcome.
come to an end.
All good
And you know what they
things.
say, the captain must go down with this ship.
Yeah, and in this case, that's all of us.
All,
Yeah.
all three of us on the helm, just holding a firm salute as we descend into the Marinara Trench.
Yeah, that's
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
I mean, we're a big full-on gravy boat.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's on brand for us for sure.
Yeah.
This is it, everybody. Might be probably a bit of a surprise to many folks who have listened to us for a while. And there's a lot of reasons that we've decided to sort of call it quits. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work trying to make content and trying to get any sort of traction to where it sort of makes it worth it. I don't know. It's a weird thing to start talking about when you're like, yeah, man, it's like we always did it because it was something we really just liked to do, and it was us hanging out.
Yeah.
And
3 years later,
yeah, exactly.
weekly recording and investments and
Yes, money.
ongoing work and social schedules.
Yeah, but it's also like, obviously, yes. So we could talk about, we don't want to come off as like complainers, but it's like,
Yeah, well,
it's
we weren't making any money doing this. This is
yeah,
horse
no.
shit.
We were in it for the love of the game.
Yeah, we were in it for the love of the game, but it does still get to a point where, again, because we live in a fucking capitalist society, your work or anything that you do
Look,
that you're not
time is
getting
money,
paid
baby.
for, time is money. Thank you, John. And so you want to be able, I mean, ultimately you want to be able to just do it. And like, this would be sick if this was our job and we got paid to do this.
oh, that'd be so sick.
And
if
we
this was
didn't
our job.
have to have a fucking day job, but that's not the world we live in. And we all have other shit going on and other stuff that we want to do, and that we are obligated to do, which is our 9-to-5 jobs. So
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
it was more that I've picked up a lot of skills doing this. Like if you go back to like the old YouTube videos, they look not good.
I think, are they still all up, or did you take some down?
No, I mean, there's a bunch that are privated, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking about just
For good
unprivating.
reason.
Yeah, I'm thinking about unprivating all of them now at this point.
Yeah.
And you can go back and look at the hour plus just straight runs with no like
No
of us
breaks,
Yeah.
no cuts.
Yeah, it's the catches of the week included in the main topic video. It's the
Yeah.
whole deal. Yeah.
So, but over the years, it's like, we've all developed like and gained skills and disciplines. And I personally wanted to kind of do other stuff, do my own thing, which I've been trying to do more of. And doing this and that is just too much. Like on top of a job. And then, I mean, I don't really do a whole lot of other stuff, guys. But yeah, so for me, I wanted to be able to focus a little bit more on my own personal projects. So
And I do want to actually plug that. I don't know if we've ever actually done that on this show.
no, I mean, I think there's no, I haven't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I posted it to Patreon once.
Okay, you should definitely. Okay, hopefully Harlan puts a link to this in the. I can just go in and edit it later if he doesn't.
Check his
but
work.
he put a link to his page in the goddamn
My
description.
page, my MySpace page.
Yeah, your MySpace page. No, your YouTube channel. Excuse me.
Yeah. How dare you call yourself an internet historian?
You've made a number of videos already, and I always learn something new and unexpected from them. For example, the fact I learned today watching your wellness trend video is that the material that my lips are made of is the same material that my butthole is made of. So
Yes.
I haven't been able to get that out of my. It's been on the edge of my lips all day. I haven't been able to stop thinking about that. So.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want a good look inside sort of how my brain works on a minute by minute basis of the kinds of thoughts I have and then immediately Google, go watch my YouTube videos because every once in a while there will be something like, oh, that's weird, and it kind of relates, I think, to what the bigger topic is, but man, I don't know that I wanted to know that we are all Deuterostomies,
Right.
the ancient asshole god.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's like plugging into the horrible matrix of your mind for just an hour.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the case of my videos, 13 minutes or 18 minutes.
And
In
I
and
do-
out, baby.
And I do think that for people who enjoy this show, I think it's an easy. If you are already acquainted with Harland, it's pretty easy to hop over and just.
We're getting dangerously close to calling me like some freak. Like, Harlan's a weirdo, huh?
Look, man. I mean,
if you like
you're
watching
already
this guy at the
desensitized.
zoo,
I mean, it's
Target
more
audience.
accurate. Yeah,
Talking to the
exactly.
target audience right now, and I do also want to say that I am going to continue paying for the RSS feed to stay up because I'm going to be releasing some other stuff down the line using the same you pay for hosting and we can have like as many podcasts as we want on that bad boy, so why not just keep paying for it? So everything we've released will still stay up for streaming purposes, audio only at the very least, so that's not going anywhere.
And speaking of money, I paused our Patreon donation so people aren't going to get charged for this episode, or I guess the other one that comes out. Is there one that comes out this Friday, right?
Yeah,
God,
the
I'm
Salt
so-
Bay episode's coming out.
Yeah. So you won't get charged for the next 2 episodes. I know some people signed up with the $15 with the incentive of like, because you're paying the high tier, you're supposed to eventually over a long enough period of time get like merchandise. So if anybody wants to give us a refund or ask for a refund, I will fulfill those refunds without question. I know that $15 for some people and then you don't get the thing you were promised. That kind of sucks. So please send refund requests if you want on Patreon. I have no problem giving those back to everybody. We obviously really appreciate all of the money that we have gotten. It's helped us pay for hosting, like we've mentioned in the past, and the music and like all the other stuff that costs money that normally comes out of our pocket and has been for basically 2.5 years. So thanks for the last 6 months of helping us with that. But I just, it's one of those things where you start a Patreon in the hopes of like, oh, maybe this will be like a thing. We're seeing some traction. And then, 6 months later, you're like, well, I'm tired. I can't maintain this anymore. That's what's going on with the Patreon.
Yep. Thanks for that.
But yeah, man.
Johnny, I see John's mouth about to open.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking fondly of the good times.
Yeah.
Today, I was talking to John about this last night a little bit, and it evolved since my conversation with John last night about this. It was originally just like, I was like, oh, yeah, John, if you pick 2 episodes, I'll pick 2 episodes, and we can like have those as like discussion. We can like talk about that and that, like those things. And then I was like, oh, I'll just go grab audio from those, which ended up taking hours to like.
I can only imagine.
Find clips. And I was like, it's like a sunken cost fallacy thing where I was like, no, I'm fucking finishing.
Well, like after what we just talked about too,
I know,
it's like
I did it again. So
God, this is a lot of work. Wow. Oh man. Way to go out with a bang.
So the file that I have here is it says it's 1 hour and 6 minutes. It's not. It's probably
all right,
it's
guys.
probably-
See ya. We're just gonna press play and walk away.
I basically finished it, and then I went to the grocery store and I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it to make sure it's like fine. And I was driving to the grocery store to listen to it, and I was like, fuck, I forgot the number one thing I wanted to put on there. Somehow.
Okay. So you guys mentioned that you want to do like, I don't want to say like a clip show, but like pick like favorite moments and stuff. And the moment you guys mentioned that, my mind went totally blank of everything we've ever said on this show.
So-
and I was like, well, I'm just not going to say anything and let them deal with it because I cannot think of a single thing that I would want to talk about from the last 3 years.
That's the kind of the fun part about doing this though, was John gave me 2 episodes to go through, and I was just on the Pinecast, like where we host our stuff, and I was just like look through. I was like, oh, it was a fun episode. And I was just I downloaded probably 15 episodes. And then I was like, I'll just go through each one of them and I'll just click around and find stuff. And I was like, after 2 episodes, I was like, never mind. I jumped right away to the 2 that John gave me. And then I grabbed stuff from that. And then I just did a couple more. So what I have is essentially an 8-minute like audio compilation of stuff, which I think I can like start. We can listen, stop, talk.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
of just shit that we've said over the years that some of the stuff I'm just like, I can't believe we said that. Like I forgot.
Sure.
I forgot we said these things.
I feel like for me, there's maybe a little bit of like a trauma response to probably some of the stuff that we've said, and that's why it's hard for me to remember. The only episode that really, really stands out is, and it's probably because I hosted it, which is always the problem, right? You remember yours more than anybody else's. Is the Time Cube episode. Like that's
I've got that in here. I've got some Time Cube stuff.
Only one I remember because that was the first episode that I edited for video where I had supplementary video to go along with it of Gene Ray talking. So I just remember him stumbling over his own words throughout that entire like MIT speech. That's the only thing I really remember. So go watch
that. Was also one of the most bonkers subjects that we had ever covered.
Yeah, it was pretty out there, and I was pretty proud of myself for finding something that out there. Normally, again, that's like Kyle's territory.
For sure. And
that is some deep Reddit forums corner of the internet kind of shit.
It's funny too, because in the episode, which I was trying to find like funny clippable things, like I kind of nail some and I don't nail some other. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But for the Time Cube episode in particular, the clips, like the comedy happens over a course of like a minute at a time,
right? And
I wasn't about to clip like minutes. But what was funny in regards to what you just said was throughout the episode, I'm like, yeah, I totally get this. I totally understand it. And it's like, no, you really shouldn't. Like the end of the episode is me being like, yeah, dude, but just because there's someone on the other side of the planet that's experiencing the same day as me, but just at different times doesn't, like, I'm like going through it. Like I'm like reciting it back.
He's pulling out the red yarn as he's talking.
Anyways, we'll get to that episode. Let's just, I'm going to fire this first like clip off and we can just take a little walk down memory lane here. All right.
Excellent.
Here we go. First clip.
This episode is brought to you by Mud Flood.
Yes, the Mud Flood.
Of waking up is Mud Flood in your cup. Yeah.
Mud Flood. Pick it up at a grocery store near you. Certainly to get the day going.
Oh my god!
Did you do that in the moment?
Yeah.
Or was any of that post, like any of the copy? I'll call it copy for the commercial.
Funny enough, that actually happens at the very end of the episode. Well, John, right when I first say Mud Flood, John immediately goes, "You know what? That'd be an amazing coffee."
Yeah.
And Harlan, you're really set on, no, it's not coffee, it's a dessert. You're at the restaurant, you want to order the Mud Flood.
Yeah, well, because I remembered.
Sure, yeah, like a mudslide sort of thing.
Yeah, I
or
remembered
like
the
lava
Red
flow.
Robin had something called that, the Mud Pie or Mud Mountain.
Yeah, like
Mud Pie.
Yeah, Mud Pie.
Something.
So at the end of the episode, John decides like, oh, I want to actually do like a little thing.
Copy read.
So he does it, but at the same time, me, probably drunk, I'm just singing while he's doing the thing. This is a benefit of remote recording because I was able to actually separate our tracks and actually place it. We did it just at the same exact time.
Yeah,
he was doing the commercial, and I was just
John was
singing.
a trooper and powered through getting his line out while he screamed over him.
So what happens?
I think that was the synopsis of this entire show.
Yeah. So John's basically talking, and I'm like yelling in the background over him, and then later I go and post and move it around. The original's in there still, but I
feel. Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, I feel like anytime that you mentioned Mud Flood, I would break into like
it was like 4 times.
Roasted beans. Like
that was our
Columbia's finest beans.
That was like our first lightning strike episode too. Like that was like, whoa, this one's
that
we're
episode,
getting a lot of plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna jump all over the place during this episode, but like you make stuff and you put it out there, right? Like the Mud Flood episode, for example, and it gets like for us a wild amount of attention, and you're like, oh, this could maybe be something, right? Like
Yeah.
this could be the next, like the episode that kind of takes us to that next level. And that's the thing that's like really, I don't know if it's disheartening or bittersweet about making content and putting it out there, is like, how do you maintain that? And like you see that one response and it gives you that little bit of hope and you're like, ooh, okay, I'm going to start paying
like a
for
dopamine
something.
hit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm going to start paying for like something else to elevate the episode, the rest of the show because of this one thing that happened. And then it's like the next week, everything goes right back to normal.
Yeah.
And
then it's like, oh, we're not getting the same numbers now. All of a sudden.
and
Yeah. Look, Kyle and I were in a band for many, many
Yeah.
years. We know exactly what this is.
It's the same
One
thing.
minute you're playing a festival outside, and then the next day you're playing a pizza parlor. Like, there is no real in between or rhyme or reason for the way shit works.
yeah,
I don't care if Dave Grohl is your friend. I'm not playing your pizza
Yeah.
place. I don't care.
I don't care.
Well, yeah, and it's just it's a weird thing to easily get sucked into and then realize like how much of a lot of people's success in any industry is just luck. It's just like so much of like 50% of it's luck, 50% of it's being a nepo baby. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I it's wild to see. Like,
We are not
those-
Nepo baby. We're like repo babies, if anything.
I love that. Can we make that a band?
God, repo babies.
Fuck. That's sick.
Did you guys ever see Repo
Yeah.
Man?
That's
This is
what-
Repo
yeah,
Babies.
yeah, for sure. That's okay.
Wow.
All right.
So it's like, it's the same movie, but like what they did with the Muppets and the Muppet Babies. It's the same. It's just little kids.
Just shrunken.
Dude.
Just little.
I'm super into this. Okay,
God.
hold on. We have way more. We have way more to listen
I can't
to.
believe that we made it to the very last episode and we got, I mean, at least we got Repo Babies out of this whole endeavor.
I know.
Wow, dude.
Repo babies.
We'll always have Repo Babies.
Also, 139 such a bummer number. Like,
I know,
wish it
it's
was
not
like a-
like 150.
yeah, 150 would have been a cool banger number to go out on. Bicentennial.
It's not
Come
even
on.
an
No,
even number.
I literally thought about
139?
that. I thought about it like last night. I was like, man, 139 sucks.
It's kind of a good metaphor, though.
Hey,
I kind of like
you know
it.
what, guys? Let's kill off the Salt Bay episode and then we are 138.
Is that better?
and
Does that
just
feel better in your
we'll have
mind?
like a misfit. Yeah, it's a Misfits thing.
Okay,
Oh.
got it. Okay, well,
We can talk
release,
about that.
We'll release the Salt Bay one as like a last minute bonus episode that has no number then, just so
you
this
can-
one
yeah.
works.
It could be an announcement.
Yeah, sure.
It'll just say we're sorry.
We'll release both of these on the same day.
Okay, so as the format goes on here, I have like what I've done is I have like 3 to 4 little audio snippets from each episode that I chose. So gonna play here for a bit until I remember when to pause. So just
Before we get into it, hang on. Oh yeah,
oh, get that
Rip
LaCroix.
it. What was that, purple flavor?
it's purple flavor, dude. It's
All right, here we go.
Okay.
More clips, more content. Just
oh, we're just gonna
Stay with
listen to
me.
a whole episode.
We've gone too far.
no, it just came in.
Welcome to another episode of 20,000 Leagues Under the Internet. My name is Harlan Spinks. And with me, as always, is John Carr. Say hello, John Carr. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no, run, dude. He's coming for you. He's been possessed.
Holy shit.
This is going to be an interesting one. We've got John's ghost on the recording today. Not at all.
They are intertwined.
Once
Yes.
you're in the dungeon, the only way out is through, Harlan.
Yeah, like two lovers clasped around each other in the dead of night, making sweet, sweet whoopee.
You shall not come.
Oh God, those two voices were so weird together after that description. Gandalf,
Lord.
Gandalf in a.
I can't remember what episode this is from.
What the? That's, using 1970s talk show slang and then John
Yeah.
impersonating a goat. Like, what is even happening?
I don't know. Again, we're sorry for the things that we've done.
Listen, not every episode is gonna be, top tier quality.
All I wanted
Yeah.
to highlight there was like the amount of intros we had to do and try to keep the intro feeling new and fun. There was a new approach from everybody, like every time, basically.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, I'm gonna start this episode and be like, oh, well, that was new.
That's weird.
Actually, I know exactly what episode this is from, and we're gonna get there in the next little clip.
Well, do you speaking of like trying to do intros cool, do you guys remember, I don't know if it was on this one. I think this was when we were still doing them in person, and I think it was our old podcast actually.
Yeah. What's your condition?
Yeah.
God, what a nightmare. When I showed up and was like, guys, I have a genius bit.
You're gonna eat on fucking
I'm gonna
the eating
eat
thing?
and
Nope.
talk about how I started working out again and bring a Slim Jim. And the whole intro bit relied on the fact that you would be able to hear me snap into the Slim Jim. And then when I bit into the Slim Jim, no, absolutely no snap, nothing. And I was like, well, this did not go the way I wanted to. I should have done a test run at home to make sure there's an audible snap out of this meat stick. And
Yeah, the thing with Slim Jims, it's more of a smush.
yeah.
You really smush into a Slim Jim.
Yeah, you gotta smush into that Slim Jim. Yeah, I mean the old show we used to do, we used to sit and riff around with live mics and just wait until it was like we had a good little intro, like a cold open thing that
Yeah.
we
Wait for the funny.
wait for the funny, and then I'd be like, boom, boom, that's it, and then I would cut that, put it before the intro music as like just a weird cold open. So a lot of those weird,
So much work.
like a lot of interesting approaches to like on the fly comedy and improv though.
Again, so many skills. We worked out some kinks here and there. We've learned what not to do
Yeah.
and what to do.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
eat on mic though.
No, don't eat on mic.
It's not a funny
Yeah.
joke. It sucks.
That's a thing. No one likes to hear people's mouth noises.
Unless you think
in
it's
their
funny.
ears.
Yeah, unless you think it's
Yeah.
funny that other people are going to hate it, which I kind of did, and that was
Well,
kind
right.
of also part of it. But
It's just like absolutely not.
I
dude.
don't think I ever did it again after that. I tried it
There
once.
I think you brought corn nuts once to do a bit where you're gonna be like,
Yep.
yeah, what's going on?
It was
Like, you're
probably
gonna-
cashews. It was probably cashews.
Oh, it was probably cash. Yeah.
That's my nut.
Yeah, corn nuts is a gamble. You might lose a tooth.
I don't.
Yeah.
I love that's my nut.
Mhm.
Like that's what your nut is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we
Kyle,
got
pick a nut.
Repo Babies, and that's my nut this episode.
Does sunflower seeds count as a nut? Or is that a seed?
They're literally, it's in the name.
Sunflower seed. Pistachio. I like pistachios.
What is the difference between a nut and a seed, though?
They do the same thing.
Right?
They grow a thing.
I think.
Are we learning something new right now?
God, we're so
Is
dumb.
seed just a smaller nut? A small,
I don't know,
small
man.
nut? Okay.
John
hold
is
on.
so over this.
Okay.
I
here
just
we go.
wanted to have a fun thing, and you guys had to have a question about it.
Okay. Here's the next clip.
Demon.
The tweet says, "What the fuck is Geetus? I found this
Geetus.
old pin. Google has no answers. Please help. I'm losing my mind."
Fuck yeah.
Do either of you want to try to describe the Geetus?
Yeah,
Yes.
his face looks like a pizza wearing sunglasses.
Is
So
that what he
was-
looks like?
I mean, I
Yeah,
haven't
I
looked at
mean-
him since I said that.
I can never not remember. He's always there in my mind.
Well, didn't we all get Geetus, like, merch
Yeah, I gave
for
you guys
ourselves?
Geetus pins
Yeah.
for Christmas that
Yeah,
year.
yeah, I got mine laying around somewhere.
I think, despite it being an abstract description, I think it is very on point.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was off. I mean, this is one of those things where I listened to this today and I was like, I have no recollection of saying that or ever even thinking that Geetus looked like a pizza wearing sunglasses.
Dude, Geetus is still giving us gifts. I Googled Geetus just to get a reminder, and I found this image that I just sent you guys of some new Geetus fan art drops.
That's
my
so good. Like how
The
it's
toes.
measurements, no idea. No one knows what the
Absolutely
it
clueless.
can be any size.
Could be as tall as the Chrysler building. Who knows?
Oh my god. So it's like in quotes, Geetus.
We don't even get the Latin.
It's like, yeah, I would love to see like a genus of some kind.
Yeah, what's the family tree of Geetus?
Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna keep trucking along here.
Yeah, hit it.
I can't remember what's next.
A lot of what I'm about to say makes absolutely no sense. It's dog shit.
Okay.
So don't try to.
That was it. That was that clip. We're continuing.
Yeah, that's from Time
Would we
Cube.
actually call it Cornhole Battleship?
There is one.
Has to be something better.
I don't know. I think it should just be that. It should be the dumbest thing. I will say though,
You
there
sunk my
are.
cornhole.
Time Cube.
He's running.
Yes.
We've got to stop them. We've got to get to Time Cube.
We have to get to Time Cube, so Time Cube is
Time Cube is a
place. Oh shit!
We've got to get the Time Cube. Dude, Time Cube shit.
We had fun. We had fun.
Yeah.
We've got
We
to
had,
get
we
the
had
Time
little
Cube.
bits.
Was that you trying to do Patrick Stewart, by the way?
I don't.
Do you remember?
I have no idea why I was doing that.
No, John was doing
John
an
Stan.
accent.
Oh, it was Connery.
Oh, it was Connery, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's James Bond.
It was just a little less Scottish than normal.
Yeah, we've got to get to Time
No,
Cube.
that episode immediately is like if I had to choose like 3 episodes to represent the show as a whole, Time Cube would be on there for sure.
Yeah, Mud Flood, right?
Yeah, maybe Mud Flood. I haven't actually listened to the whole thing.
It could be
like,
bad.
I listened to a lot of Time Cube today, and I think that episode is still funny as hell. So and also interesting, which I think was like what we were trying to like bridge.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely
You learn something and you laugh at something.
yeah, we definitely, tried to be more informative, I think, over the years with the changing of the show.
Yeah.
And that one, but again, it's like there's some things that you really just don't need to know.
Yeah.
Very true. Cool. Yeah. So I got more clips. There's definitely another Time Cube clip here. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Spoiler alert: Gene's dead. But if he was still alive, I would really like him to meet Kyle, and I feel like you guys would kick it the fuck off, man.
You guys would get beers.
We're making brats. We're talking about fours.
He'd show you all the handwritten flyers he has stored away in a weird little house in Florida.
Wow, I love how you pinned them all to the wall, like kind of randomly. It looks crazy in here.
Gene, my man.
Oh my God, I really buried the lead with that one, huh?
Dude, it's one of those like it's like what we did in the Chris Chan episode where I was like, not to bring Will Smith into this. It's like this like is like 0 to like 90 like
Yeah.
transition. It comes out of nowhere, man.
Gene's dead, guys.
Spoiler alert! This guy's dead. So absurd, man. So absurd.
I want him to meet Kyle because you guys would kick it the fuck off.
I mean,
Kyle reenacting what that would be like afterwards is incredible too. I just got a bunch of random stuff taped to the wall. It's pretty awesome in here.
This is nice. I like what you've done with the place.
crazy in here, man.
Crazy in here.
But the thing is like that entire episode, I'm like doing this like pseudo bit where I'm like, dude, I'm totally buying into this.
Yeah.
Like it's an hour long of me buying into this conspiracy theory about the time zones of the world. Oh God. Anyways, that
So
once
good.
again, that episode is up there for me. Also, first like true video too. So
Yeah.
Mhm,
I have a
yeah.
question
That
about
one was
these.
quite in
I have a
depth.
question about these clips that you're putting out here.
Yeah.
I'm hearing music underneath. Now, did you add the smooth R&B to all of
I
these?
did. I thought it'd
Okay.
be funny to kind of mask the well, because I didn't know if I was gonna do this the way I'm doing it right now. I
Right.
thought it might be something I play at the end and we sit and listen to all the way through. But maybe I'll just upload this as an episode or bonus content later or
Sure,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a fully edited like
Oh my God, Kyle, you did
like
too
a
much.
bed of music and like vocal like audio like comes out of it and then fades back into it like of all these clips from a bunch of different episodes. But
Wow, you
it's
really
like
did the work for this one.
what I'd rather do though, like I'm like listening to this, I'm like, man, I didn't get all the good episodes. I'd rather do a full on bigger version of this, maybe if I get the time. But as of right now, I have 8 minutes of some random episodes that John and I were like, this sounds good last night. So
listen, as much as we are like stepping away from doing this like regularly, Kyle, obviously you said you're going to keep the RSS feed up.
yeah,
It's not like the episodes are going to disappear. I'm sure that Kyle is going to want to make something eventually and put this together. And there will still be stuff that comes out.
yeah, there's funny things down the pipeline eventually.
So look out for the clip show episode.
Which are, actually some of my favorite episodes of Friends. Anyways, moving on. We have more clips to listen to. My guy. Okay. Interesting.
I did it faster.
That was a quick draw. Yeah.
John is for those who are listening for the first time to us ever, John is the one with the lower sultry voice,
That's
and
me,
Harland is the one that sounds like a cartoon vulture
Careful.
in a Disney movie.
Okay. You know, I knew it was gonna be something,
I
but
had to go somewhere with it.
You really fucked me with that description, bro.
I feel like that's kind of an honor.
It's kind of cool now. Looking back on it, I don't mind the cartoon vulture description.
Oh, and what's great is throughout that episode, it's like you actually embrace it by the end of the episode because we don't let it go.
Yeah.
And at
man,
one point, it's like, hey, while Harlan's talking, John, are you just imagining him like turning into a cartoon bird? Yeah. And eventually you talk about, you just got to lean into it, baby. And,
Well, I'm glad that I said it on the episode because I was literally about to say the same thing
Yeah,
now.
Hey, you know what? I don't think that your mind changes on just about everything.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna embody you from the past.
Listen,
Yeah.
if anybody tries to bully you, I grew up with glasses, buck teeth, and braces, and acne. I was getting it from all angles, and it was all cranial related. It's bad. So, and I learned just laugh at yourself. Just lean into it, man. Everything will be fine. Embrace your inner vulture.
Yep. I actually brought this up.
That's your new self-help book.
I know that the clip. I know that the clip is me making a joke about Harlan and like making fun of Harlan. But the reason I actually brought this one in is because a skill that I actually learned during this many year stint of having kind of a somewhat public facing personality where I say absolutely buck wild shit that's permanently on the internet is to kind of like let go of that, like that ego or that
Yeah.
that I don't know, like just stop worrying so much about it and just have fun, So like that's something that this show has definitely given me up to this point is like, dude, you're embarrassed about the things you say. Guess what? You're the guy saying it and you're the one thinking it and you're the one like if you have a problem
You're
with
the
it,
one doing this, dude.
yeah, you can like alter yourself if you want, but also you could also just embrace who
Yeah.
you are, you know. So that was a journey for
Yeah.
me at the very least.
I mean, so much of this is like perspective too, especially if you're going back and like editing and like listening to it again. You have to get used to who you are. Like you have to, like you said, drop the ego and self-consciousness to a certain extent, and either create a persona or just be you. Like
Totally.
Everybody talks about how like, oh, I hate the way my voice sounds on recordings. It's like, no, that's just how you sound. You got to get over that.
Yeah,
and
you gotta get used to that, my man.
after 3 years of doing this and listening to myself, it all sounds the same now in my head. They're the same voice. Like you get over it.
It's just a funny thing, and I do also want to say for the record that I'm not doing a bit. I'm not doing I'm just doing me. You know what I mean? That's it's always been your boy.
Can confirm that there is no off
John
switch.
is corroborating my madness. Yeah.
I, on the other hand, have been that cartoon vulture since that day and have never looked back.
Never.
Yeah, that was a transformative day for you.
It truly was.
Need some actual art. I know in the video you actually threw up some like.
I think
Like
I found a picture of like an old
Yeah.
1960s cartoon.
Yeah. It's like I'm surprised you didn't whip out a cigarette and smoke it. It was like that era, you know.
Yeah. Drinking from a jug marked XXX.
Like big jug of fucking like a skull and crossbones.
Yeah,
smoking
that's
a
what it
cigarette,
is, the skull
vulture
and
in the tree.
crossbones.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, let's continue on our little journey.
Yeah.
Can't remember what's next.
Yeah.
Cool. We're gonna talk about glizzies. Let's dive in.
Oh, what? How does this necessitate its own entire episode? Oh no.
So now a bunch of videos show up of a dude just trying to eat a hot dog like secretly with his friends busting on him with cameras, like being like, "Bro, we got you," and they're like, "Oh man, fuck, you caught me eating this phallic snack." So, like,
You don't remember that, Harlan?
No,
You
I do.
watched-
I do. I just, what he said, I can't believe neither of us picked up on, where he says a video of a guy whose friends are busting on him.
I know I it was a total flub on my.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
neither of us decided to comment on
Oh,
it, I
no.
guess.
It was supposed to be busting in on, not busting
Yeah,
on.
I think both of our minds just auto-completed.
Got it, yeah.
Or maybe you did. Maybe you cracked a smirk, but then I keep talking after that, so you just missed the joke window.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe. Sometimes I do stop myself from saying the naughty joke.
Totally. The Glizzies episode.
When?
When?
Can we have that clip show?
Where
No, that clip
you
show would be boring as hell. No one wants that.
it would be a visual thing where it shows you going like this. Like holding back. Sorry, audio listener, that's a visual thing. You have to go to YouTube for that. But it's like showing you like about to be like,
Or like
not today.
an
Not
invisible
today.
light bulb like go off on my above my head. Like what?
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like when I mentioned Rick Perry and Price Master, and you go like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, the
sound
Metal
effect.
Gear Solid sound. It's a classic.
Yeah. So the Glizzies thing I brought up because
That's what we named our fictional ship.
the Glizzy Guzzler.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's the ship that we're on that's currently sinking into the Marinara Trench.
yeah, we're taking on water.
taking on meatballs.
We're full of oregano. So I was like, oh, that was a good episode in the sense that it was a nothing topic that allowed for us to not be so constrained to like a script and just make like it was like an hour of jokes basically.
An hour of dick jokes.
Yes. And I also forgot this. I know I did the episode, but re-listening back to it today, it was like, oh yeah, they got called Glizzies because they were like the pretty close to the length of a Glock's
Right.
clip.
Right.
That was how the
That's-
term Glizzy
Oh,
came
I
around to begin with.
Completely forgot that.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
weird.
anyways, we got more Glizzy clips here, so I'm gonna play those.
I literally just ate dinner and now I want a hot dog.
John might be a classic Glizzy gulper, but we'll get there.
So it's true. Yes. Card carrying, I think.
The Glizzy goat.
Gluck Gluck 9000 double wombo combo undercut.
Undercut? That's a haircut. What the fuck is happening?
It is where he pussy get overloaded and shuts off no more love time.
Did a fucking robot write that?
What is that?
John reading the nerdy the bad words is always so funny.
He pussy.
Yeah, dude.
So
Just hating the words as they leave his mouth.
it was because I mentioned it was some like tweet or TikTok post or something where it was like, yo, Biden's giving that hot dog the Gluck Gluck 9000. I was
Oh,
like,
yes,
and I was like,
that's
I have no idea what the Gluck
right.
Gluck 9000 is, so I looked it up on Urban Dictionary, and I asked you guys. I was like, all right, there's 3 definitions. Who wants to read them? Harlan, you're like, normally I'd volunteer, but John's like, okay, fine, fuck it, I'll do it.
Well, John has such a good radio voice. Like we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Him
Yeah.
reading anything, it sounds It sounds better, especially when it's worse.
Yeah, when you like read it through totally straight and it's like the worst.
Yeah. Just deadpan.
He pussy, no more fun time.
The other thing from that clip that is a character trait of John's that we find out throughout the show is he gets real hungry. Anytime you mention food, he's
like, "Oh, I want
hungry
that."
immediately.
I want
Shit,
that.
I want to eat that.
Yeah. Can't talk about
There
glizzies.
has, I mean, full disclosure. There was, from time to time, I would eat an edible, come on the show.
Yes.
Also forget that I would eat one, and then start wondering why I was getting hungry.
It was the glizzy episode
Towards the end of-
an edible episode?
I could not tell you.
Sure.
But I mean, any time is a good time for a hot dog.
I agree with you. I actually 100%. That's the true. Like, I'm like, am I much of an American? Am I an American? Am I a capitalist? But I'll tell you what. From the, if there's one thing that's true about me, is a hot dog is good for any meal of the day, any day of the week, any holiday. This Christmas morning, I'm eating a fucking glizzy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Living close to Golden Gate Park opens up. Just any time that you want.
Yeah, you can just go fire
There's
up a grill.
probably a hot dog in the park.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's the stand.
There's a hot dog stand. I can just go. They got them ready.
I literally walked by one yesterday, and my wife was like, "You gonna get one?" I was like, "I really want one." She was like, "You should get one." I was like, "No, I'm watching my weight." I wanted that damn glizzy. Okay.
You gotta have the bad thoughts take over.
Yeah. I have more clips. Here we go. I think there's another glizzy one here, but we'll finish that and move on to the next thing.
That's so incorrect. To a human body.
I actually do have a picture of it. It's right here. Thank you very much. That's the Gluck Gluck 9000 happening.
It's just a fucking Biden. It's just
It's Biden two-handing the fucking Pornhub edition.
Sean, ever since we started calling that, John has refused to ever attend a Sunday wet market.
Yeah, that's my day of rest.
Harlan and I go.
John doesn't work on the wet Sabbath.
Yeah.
John.
Wet Sabbath.
Oh my God, that is my new band.
To Wet
That is
Sabbath.
my new.
Catch of the week, the wet market.
Oh my god.
I included this to
I
talk
would definitely
about.
go see a band named Wet Sabbath.
Yeah, Wet Sabbath would be dope to see live.
I definitely stopped calling it the wet market. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I perpetuated that still.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I don't remember. I guess maybe I started to block it out. Just like John.
Beyond the wet market, though, the catch of the week aspect of the show was always like a. It was honestly for me.
Just
it was
a fucking mess, dude.
No. It was the warm up for me. It was like what we used to do with the old podcast where we do the cold open thing. For me, it was at a certain point, Harlan, when you started cutting the YouTube videos into
like
catch the week separate from the main topic. It was my opportunity to get warmed up in the zone, like riff around a bit. And then be like fully primed and ready for the main event. You know what I'm saying? It was the foreplay. It was the foreplay.
We all love riffing around a bit.
As far as the show is concerned, it's funny from the audio perspective because it added like extra length to the episodes for sure.
Yes.
But I mean, is there any? Can you guys think about can you guys really think back on the wet market, aka catch of the week stuff that we all brought to the table over the years? Like, is there any that stand out at all?
No.
I mean,
Most of the show,
exactly
it leaves my
point.
mind as soon as I
can't
say
recall any of them.
well, I do remember after or before, during, and now currently the Twitter fiasco that was part of
yeah,
our catch of the
yeah.
week for like a while.
Yeah, the Elon Jet shit.
Yeah.
Like everything.
it.
Yeah.
We were breaking news at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah. A week later.
Yeah, that's the thing. If we were like a live podcast that was coming out we record in the morning and it's out by the evening, it would have made more sense to do those things like that, or be like considered a news source. We were
Right,
coming
yeah.
out a
Oh,
week,
God,
a week
never.
delayed,
Yeah.
delayed every time. Yeah. But yeah, okay, cool. Next clip. I honestly have lost the plot here. I have no idea what's happening next.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you're podcasting and you think it might get messy, make sure you got your Iron Rangers on.
Make sure you don't have a crotch blowout and wear those.
Crocs just won't cut it for this one.
Yeah. So you're gonna get mad. You're gonna get frustrated with the idiocy of the topic, and that topic is a 129 post bodybuilding forum thread.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
So let's dive in.
That episode, dude.
I know.
I forgot.
So yeah, that was one of my
This almost-
favorites, and that was also the episode we found out that Kyle wears shoes when he records.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had that as a clip.
That was why I was doing
I had
that.
a clip in here that I removed where it's like Harwin enters the show and I'm like, hi, I'm Kyle Luck and I have an announcement to make. And everyone was like, oh God, what's going to happen? And I was like, I want everyone to know that I'm not wearing shoes right now. And then I had to explain my mental fucking nightmare about wearing shoes or pants at all when I'm sitting at a computer. Yeah.
Well, like, because we were surprised that was the announcement, that then you normally wear shoes? Because I'm barefoot right now, baby.
Well, me too, and I have a new rug underneath. I got my toes like amongst a rug right now. You know
just
what I'm
like-
saying?
So you're a changed man since all of the ridicule of that episode.
This bodybuilding episode, really changed the game for me.
Yeah.
I'm more in touch. My chakra is the foot chakra is connected to the molten core of the earth. I can feel the curvature
Okay.
and the spinning speed of my soul as it circumnavigates the airspace.
This is just word salad.
Surrounding the cosmic.
So you said earlier in the show that you saw someone sunning their hole. Did you partake in it as well?
I did not.
Because you're starting to sound like.
Did you do
I
it?
didn't say that on the air, Harwin. But now I have to talk about that.
Oh damn, we didn't say it on the air. Man, I'm really bad at this whole podcasting thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing you're getting out of the game.
I saw someone expose their son. Sorry, expose their sun hole. That's what I was gonna say. Well, I guess we could just call it that.
Don't make me do another fucking spin take on
That's
this
close.
show.
That's close. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about that. But yes, this was the episode that I came out to you guys as a shoe wearer in the house while I'm recording or doing any sort of work. But yeah.
Well, you know what's funny about that too is that that was a turning point in your life, just like the cartoon Vulture was in mine. But then immediately after this episode, the bodybuilding forum episode, you went right back to your old self because the follow-up to the bodybuilding argument was a bodybuilding argument or diagram that was just so classic Kyle on brand.
It was a man, and you can hear my excitement in the clip we just played because I thought Harlan was about to talk about the thing that I ended up talking about the week later.
Yes.
But yes, I ended up talking about a man who went on a date and had to pee so bad and poop so bad at the same time.
Yeah,
that
it was like a full body thing.
He had to pee so bad that he had an erection and he had to poop and he couldn't like math it.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that much detail about it again.
Yeah. We saw the diagrams.
RSS is gonna stay up. The episodes are up. If you're curious about this, if you didn't see this, bodybuilding forums episode part two.
I think that one has Arnold Schwarzenegger on the thumbnail.
Hell yeah.
The Josh and Justin 27.
Okay.
So
Justin 27.
The Josh replies and says Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. That is 4 days.
Oh, got it.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Dude, there are some times where we are some of the funniest people in the world. Like, I have no shame in saying that right now. That is like a top tier, like S tier joke, dude. It doesn't get much better than that. And
Happy
it was
days.
so
Sorry. Keep
quick.
going.
So quick.
Yeah. Sorry about that. And also, guys, it's the art of mastering the remote recording with the delay that we're dealing with.
Yeah, dude, is seeing the joke like a mile and ahead in advance.
Yeah, and using visual cues to know who has something to say and like it's easier. It's way easier in person.
Yeah,
like
sure,
way
100%.
easier in person.
We might still be doing this if we did it in person, to be honest.
That's true. It's like,
Hey,
so, see, I just did it. John opened his mouth and I backed off. See that?
look at you.
Now
You only get one.
It's weird though when you're doing that in real life with like friends that you don't do a podcast with. They're like, "Are you okay?
yeah.
Are you having a stroke?"
Well, it's the difference with like an in-person media versus a remote media is, and I saw this. This was said on like a D&D podcast I listened to with like they have like a party of like
Oh
8
God,
people.
here we go.
And one of the guys was saying he can't wait to record in person again.
Coming soon to this network.
He can't wait to record again in person because he's tired of the fact that only one conversation can happen at a time in remote recording.
Yeah.
You can't, like, Harlan, you can't be talking. Say there was another person on the call. Harlan, you can't be talking to John, and I can't turn to the other person on the call and be like, "Hey, man, you want to talk about something else?"
Yeah.
While they talk about the other thing. It just doesn't work.
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
No.
it just
God.
doesn't
Well,
work.
I mean, yes, actually, from doing this because I can do that, and we do that often.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, one person is trying to host a show, the other two are just
It's
having
having
their
a
own
ball,
time.
dude.
Oh, man.
Let's call it a day off.
Pretty much. I mean, one of the things I was going to suggest upon this whole thing was like, hey, what if I just host every week and you guys can just show up and fuck right off? But I was like, I don't want to write an essay every week. I really don't want to
Yeah.
write an essay every week.
Yeah, that's basically what doing like this type of podcast is. Like, we could have totally switched to just like 3 dudes talking, but like, how many more podcasts like
I
that
know.
do we need?
It exists.
Like,
It's out there.
There's a million of those
Man,
out
and
there.
there's some really good dudes. Like some dudes are really good at that, and it's really funny.
Yes, 100%.
So yeah. More clips.
As of press time, the site's administrators have not released a statement regarding the incident, and it remains to be seen whether the community will be able to bounce back from this cheesy blow. The one thing is for certain, the internet can be a Gouda place, and the events of the past few days served as a reminder of the dangers of online dairy discourse.
A Gouda place.
I cannot with the fucking cheese of it all. What is going on?
Okay.
What is that one from?
You weren't on that one, Harlan.
That was
Oh,
just Kyle and I, where we had ChatGPT write
Right.
us stories, but somehow cheese got worked into every single
It
fucking
was
one.
insanity because no matter what we did, well, actually, that's not true. The baseline of stuff was ChatGPT started feeding us like cheese prompts for like or cheese like puns throughout everything.
Cheese responses
point where John
for the things
Says
that we were.
this.
Because I think we said make it
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, we're trying to make it funny, and so
Right.
they kept using cheese stuff. And then at some point, we asked ChatGPT, "Why is cheese so funny?" And I cut this out because
Oh,
it was
yes.
too long. But it's basically just ChatGPT says cheese is universally funny because the shape, names, and smells can be funny to people. And John, you were like,
Oh.
"I agree with this."
Mhm.
wow. I totally forgot about that part because, you know, when chat just starts telling you, just make it funny, and then it equates cheese to that. It almost
Mm-hmm.
at first feels like there's something wrong in the code, right? That something
Yeah.
cheese got in there somewhere. But then it's
Cheese just gunked
yeah,
up.
but
all in
then,
there.
but then the explanation actually makes a lot of sense, and I never would have gotten there on my own.
Yeah. So thank you, Chat. Thank you, Chat.
Yeah.
Thank you, AI.
So what the journey of this episode was after we did the bit of this episode was John and I were going to have ChatGPT write our entire podcast that night. You were out, Harlan. I can't remember where you were.
Yeah.
But actually I know where you were. We're not going to talk about it. But I was like, oh yeah, we'll just do this. And then I had cheese things end up in mine. We found them in John's later. We got to the point where we did this. I'm just gonna play the next clip.
Okay.
Dude, I think ChatGPT is a front for big cheese.
Okay, why
That's all it is.
are you so obsessed with...
Let's see if we can get it to say something that's not cheese related.
Okay, cool. Let's do that. So
That's
we
somehow
broke the cheese
in the clear.
curse.
Yeah. Okay, so
We
we know
broke
it
the
can do
curse of
more than
cheese.
just cheese.
Yeah. So now what I want to do, John,
Make it about cheese.
Yeah. Make it about cheese. So as soon as ChatGPT wasn't giving us cheese, John,
Yeah, as soon as we got it to stop, we're like, okay, let's fucking dial it up to
we
11,
immediately
baby.
needed more cheese.
Really playing with Chat GPT's heartstrings there.
So
Yeah.
this was the
Stop it. Okay, do it.
yeah. It's like, hey,
No,
we also
yes. No.
sending the mixed signals.
Yeah.
I there's a thing that I cut out of this too, but it was just so much cheese content, guys. But we confront ChatGPT and be like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what's going on with those cheese?
You good?
And we like get in an argument with it, and then we like it apologizes to us at some point. It's a whole thing. But
you apologize, Chat, for
This
what
final
you
clip.
did.
before the episode even started, I had done a main topic, a catch of the week, and a sign off and an intro. Those are the things I had ChatGPT pre-write me. So when it came time for the sign off that I had already got pre-written before the episode started, it was just like a match made in heaven. Here it is.
Oh.
Oh my god.
John's cackle.
This concludes
Yeah.
our episode. Let us not forget that with great cheese comes great responsibility. So please use your cheesy powers wisely. Farewell, and may the mold ever be in your favor. It was doing cheese. It was the cheese was even before we
Yeah.
prompted
yeah.
it. It was doing
Yeah.
it.
There've been a few like episodes that end with like that perfect like wraparound. I'm trying to remember what the most recent one was.
Yeah, it was the song that I was
When-
the restaurant commercial I was trying to find. That John
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I love it when that
Kyle.
happens.
I found your video.
Yeah, I found it.
Like the ultimate reality TV like bumper that you did her on.
Oh
for
yeah,
that
dude.
one.
I
Yeah.
loved that. Was so much fun editing, dude.
Oh, it was so good.
Like it was gonna be some epic thing, but it's like no, it's just a guy in a lobster suit, or not even in a lobster suit. Or wait, he is wearing a crab suit.
Yeah,
It's a
he's
crab
he's
suit.
in a
yeah,
lobster
yeah,
suit.
that's right. He takes it on and off.
Orlando,
Oh,
hear me
God.
now. Hot Tide Harry's has the best chow. Yeah, it's that is scratch the ultimate itch.
Yeah.
I've never. It's it's like when you're wondering something for so long, you're trying to find something for so long that you know exists, but it's so buried in Google's databases. It's like, how do you find
John,
this?
I want to ask you too. When did you find? Like, what point in the show did you find it? Like, how long were you holding on to it?
About halfway
Okay,
through.
that's. I had a feeling.
Because it took some digging, and I was like, while being interactive, I'm like flipping through the Rolodex in my mind, where I'm like, I know it was some like dumbass shit that we kept saying
Yeah.
over and over again. It was like sounded weird. What is it? And I was like trying to just hit everything in Google, and nothing was coming up. I was like, it's not a seafood restaurant, like it's not like it's in the name, like something
Right.
something. So I was like,
Well, and
gotta
then
figure it
what
out.
it really turned out to be was, which you say in the episode, it was the melody all along.
It was.
High Tide Harry's. Always rely on a melody to get you there.
Everyone.
God, what?
Yeah.
I need to do. You know what? I'm gonna do an entire episode of my own channel about that guy.
You should. He has a bunch of videos.
There you go.
A bunch of videos. Okay, so we have one more episode left that I clipped stuff from. And honestly, the final little clips are kind of whatever. I just thought it was a funny thing of Harwin's brain that I decided to throw in there.
Yeah, let's bring it full circle.
yeah, and on a high note.
So this is the final episode that we're going to talk about tonight. It's definitely not representative of our entire catalog. It's just the ones that I had time to do when I should have been working my salaried position at the company that I'm very thankful to be working for still. Anyways, hopefully no one from that company listens to this show. Anyways, continuing on.
Well, they can't find it because of the SEO.
So I don't want to guess what Norman sees.
You really don't.
Also, you have to tell us if we say a Norman thing, because then we'll have to just shut this.
We'll
one
edit
down.
it out.
Yeah, you
And
gotta edit
Yeah.
that shit right out.
The reason why, if you haven't heard the
Yeah,
episode,
let's give some context.
the reason why everyone's worried about seen what Norman sees is because Norman was the first. Some MIT scientists were out to prove that AI could be manipulated by human influence.
Right.
That AI is becoming suddenly bigoted or sexist or hateful in
Violent.
some way is because of the people that are interacting with it and building it, not because it naturally becomes that way. So MIT scientists intentionally fed an AI that they lovingly named Norman, which sounds like a American serial killer kind of name. The most horrible websites. And
Norman Bates, right?
Yeah, or like a Norman Bates kind of. That's American Psycho, right?
No.
What's his name?
Psycho.
Just Psycho.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? American what?
American Psycho.
American Psycho.
Yeah.
They're both technically American Psycho, but one is titled American Psycho, one's just Psycho.
Yeah. My bad. So this whole thing was I was going to show the boys the same Rorschach images that Norman looked at, and they looked at it, and they told me what they saw. So that's why they were worried about sounding like Norman. It's gone.
I can't be on the internet.
The standard AI sees this as a group of birds sitting on top of a tree branch.
Whoa.
All right, sure.
Quite abstract.
Norman sees this as a man is electrocuted to death.
I forgot about the music.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. Did you guys? It's back to current topics. Did you guys see that someone? It was a New York Times article that said that researchers are claiming that AI may pose an extinction risk for humanity.
Okay.
Singularity?
No, like they might cause our extinction.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
tracks.
honestly, at this point, the news can tell me whatever the hell they want. I'm fine with it. Like, kill us.
Yeah, no, I mean, very much as we've discussed in great lengths on this show.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
We definitely deserve it. You wanted a Terminator. You built a Terminator.
Well, I'm so desensitized to like the doom scrolling or doom reporting stuff. It has no effect on me anymore. They could say the craziest stuff and be like, yeah, okay, what? Like, I don't care. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
I'm also like thinking about if I were to predict the end of the world in the year 2000, so I would have been in 6th grade.
Sure.
I'm not sure that AI takeover would have been on my bingo card. You know what I'm saying? I think that what I'm trying to highlight is that like the rapidity of like how fast this industry has like skyrocketed into like terrifying levels. Even like with the deep Tom Cruise episode we talked about, like just thinking about like how quickly we were able to like simulate a human, where to the point where I got fooled in real life by deep Tom Cruise leapfrogging over Keegan Michael Key. And I was like, bro, did you guys see Tom Cruise flying over this 6'2" man? And you guys were like, that's deep
That's
Tom
not real.
Cruise. That was a deep fake of Tom Cruise. And I was like, I'm terrified of the future. And I went back and found my bingo card and erased what I had, which was Brony Takeover. I got rid of that and wrote in AI Overlord instead.
We got to both of the topics. It's a wide range of things that we've covered here.
We did talk about the BronyCon, the last BronyCon.
Yeah, it was.
We did.
That's good too. Is that it from the clips?
No, I have one last little snippet from your brain where the reason I kept this in is just because I was just fascinated by the fact that I heard it. I was jumping around. I heard it, and I was like, "Is this did something happen to make him combine these words together?" No.
I love
No,
imagining
Harlan.
Kyle listening to the stuff that comes out of my mouth and looking at me like I'm some sort of science experiment. Like, I gotta cut this guy's brain open at some point.
Understand. I have to know. So this was a phrase you said, like you labeled something. I was like, that is kind of incredible.
God, I'm so nervous.
Okay, here we go. AI, bro.
Well, what I said makes me feel better about Norman, so I'm going with that rather than he is a murderous, potentially racist Marmot Witch King.
Marmot Witch King.
What?
Oh my
Why
god!
did I say marmot?
I have no idea. Dude, there's no mention of either of those things the entire episode, and then you just say that shit, and I was like, "What is a more perfect?
Maybe.
Like how do you pull this down to like a molecule?"
I wonder if the Rorschach that we were looking at maybe in my mind reminded me of
Oh,
a
yeah,
marmot
that
or
could have been.
some sort of rodent creature.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but
Marmot
either way,
Witch King is also another really good band name. I
Yeah,
have to
also-
throw it out
Also, my next D&D character. Sorry, claimed.
bonus clip. Here we go.
Oh shit.
I am looking forward to Marmot Witch King starring Tom Cruise, though.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll watch that movie.
Hell fucking
Never
yeah.
should the two, meet.
You know what I love about it? I also can't wait for the sequel, Marmot Witch King Reloaded. I can't fucking wait, dude.
Reloaded.
Reloaded.
We know how much he loves to shoot people.
Yep.
I do really want to see Tom Cruise in like a high dark fantasy film. I don't think he's ever really done anything like that.
Marmot Witch King.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
face paint, a cloak, like the whole aesthetic going
Yeah,
on. That would be
yeah.
awesome to see Tom Cruise like that.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Maybe in like 20 years when he's a little older, he can play like a Gandalf type.
Ooh. Tom Cruise as
Sure.
Gandalf the Grey.
No, as Marmot Witch King.
Oh, sure.
Yes. He's got the height for it. So.
Yeah, an old
Oh,
hermit.
yeah. The tallest of all marmots.
He's the largest marmot. Largest marmot.
Big Marmot. My boy, Big Marmot. Well, that's all I have for clips, so.
Nice.
Well, I guess that means we wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this journey. There's still content you can go back and listen to. Kyle and I are still going to be putting stuff out, so you can go. Well, you don't really have to go anywhere to listen to what Kyle's doing. Do you want to explain any more of what you're going to do?
Well, that's the thing is they might have to go somewhere else. I mean, it's going to be the same. It's because the feeds populate differently. I'm going to be putting out TTRPG content. That is tabletop role-playing game content. Using the same RSS, except it won't. I think it's going to need its own. You have to search for it, but it is called "You Will Yet Die."
And that's how it's presented. That's the show opening. You will yet die.
You will yet die.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to You Will Yet Die.
Basically, games where I play with my friends and try to kill their characters. So there's going to be 2 things coming out this year for that. I don't really know where to really promote that. Just eventually Google.
You don't have social media, man.
I know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But in the meantime, that's what I'm going to be doing. John, you going to be doing anything on the internet? You're just going to go do your tiki
I'm
adventures?
just going to continue to make art on Instagram and show posters and eventually some more ceramic stuff.
Yep.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. My channel is just my name, Harlan Spinks. That's it.
We'll have all our links.
There's only one of me. It's
in
easy to
this thing.
find. But yeah, go follow all of us respectively, individually. Again, thanks so much for joining us, doing this. And we'll see you somewhere else.
Yeah. See you on the
It
internet.
feels weird to say the old outro, but I guess.
But no, it still holds true.
Yeah.
Still holds true. You want to fire it off one last time, big guy?
Good luck out there.
Thanks, everybody.
Little Robin Williams impression.